Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah. Over at Sarah's Nightstand, we come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. And today is super exciting. We are celebrating our 3-year, gotta double check, our 3-year BookList anniversary. Yep, just made that word up. So Sarah and I have been doing book lists together for the last 3 years. We originally did them with Lisa from Books and Smiles, but she has since stepped back away from BookTube. So Sarah and I have been continuing to carry the torch for the last 3 years together. So super exciting, and it's crazy how time goes so fast. And we are not done coming up with super fun BookList Thursday ideas. So we're going to continue on. It's not going anywhere. But we're going to celebrate this 3-year BookList anniversary by talking about some dynamic duos. Because, I mean, in our opinion, we are quite the dynamic duo. I'm just saying. It's pretty fun. So we thought we'd think of some books that had some dynamic duos in them and share them with you guys. So when I was thinking about dynamic duos, of course, I kind of went with, like friendships or couples that really made some waves. But as I kind of looked through my past books that I've read, yeah, it's not necessarily like good time all the time dynamic duos that I came up with. So I have a list, 6 or 7 books here to talk about. So a little bonus on top of the 5 that we usually do, but I just feel like all of these are definitely worth mentioning. So first one I'm going to start with is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Ruby and Liesl are quite the dynamic duo in here. The Book Thief mainly follows Liesl as she is surviving World War II as a child. The really unique thing about The Book Thief is it's set from the perspective of death, which is so, I mean, it made this book that much more amazing. But Liesl is, again, trying to figure out how to survive this, and she ends up becoming a book thief and kind of rescuing and saving books that were being destroyed by the Nazis. So there's way more to this book than that, but that's kind of the essence of it. And her and Ruby have this, or Rudy, her and Rudy have quite the friendship and quite the dynamic duo. They go on some adventures together. The next one I want to talk about is the Bones Trilogy. Bones, I believe I loaned out to a friend of mine already. So Blood Oath is the second one in the book. So this trilogy follows Laura Ellison as she is wrongfully accused of murdering a rich patient of hers. She's a female doctor. Not really, I mean, this is 1800s, so not common. But she's in New York City. She is wrongfully accused of this, and so she ends up fleeing and just leaving and running away. So she goes to, I want to say, Texas, and ends up meeting up with William Kindle, who is a former Army Ranger. And they develop and they grow into be quite the dynamic duo as they are attempting to save each other, really. So Sawbones is the first one, Blood Oath is the second book, and the third one I have on my shelves somewhere, which I really want to get to. I read Blood Oath and loved it. I loved that whole series. If you're into like frontier Indians, cowboys, historical fiction, pick up that series. The next one I want to talk about, I have one of the books, is the Happy Ever After playlist, as well as The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. This follows Sloane and Kristen. I always want to say Kristen, as they go through their friendship. These two women are so independent and fierce and strong and tight. They are like the epitome of an awesome female friendship. So Friend Zone really follows Kristen. This Happily Ever After playlist really follows Sloane. There is a third book coming out, or it came out, that's out there that I need to get my hands on because I love these. Abby Jimenez makes, oh my God, she makes you laugh and cry and feel all the feels. It's amazing. Pick those up. A lot of hate to love in both of those. And if you're a dog person, Happily Ever After playlist has a dog in it that like, actually they both do. They both have dogs in it that like steal the show every so often. Next one I want to talk about is a little bit of a different of a dynamic duo. We have Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips. This is a mother and son duo that is doing anything and everything they can to survive because her main character, what is her name again? Joan takes her 4-year-old son to kind of enjoy one of the last nice days. They go to the zoo. And they go to the zoo quite often that they have their own little, I guess diamonds in the rough, little secret spots that they have found that they really enjoy gravitating towards that are maybe off the beaten path a little bit. So they are there, and so they're kind of not really in the mainstream of the zoo at the moment, and it's closing soon, and all of a sudden the zoo is taken over by armed gunmen, and they have to now figure out how to survive. So quite the dynamic duo. Next one I have is The Last Mrs Parish by Liv Constantine. This follows two main characters. We have Amber Patterson and we have Daphne. Amber sees an opportunity to maybe help elevate her status a bit, and she sees that opportunity in Daphne and Daphne's ability to be open and compassionate and help people. So Amber's kind of fed up with the plain, invisible, little money, little power life she's living in. She sees Daphne as this idol. So she starts connecting with Daphne, putting herself in the right place, and Daphne kind of brings her in under her wing. So interesting dynamic duo here. Very interesting dynamic duo. So just read this book. It is amazing. Amazing. Next one I have, another interesting dynamic duo, All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. So we have Wavy and her little brother, and they're trying to survive living in the world of her parents being drug addicts and drug dealers. So they're very neglected, and Wavy, who's 8, I believe at the time that we start this book, is really the only one that's taking care of her little brother. Until Kellen arrives, and Kellen is a man who is kind of her dad's right-hand man in this whole drug business thing. But Kellen does have a really, really good heart and sees that there is quite a bit of neglect happening with these two kids and kind of takes Wavy under his own wing and makes sure she gets to school, make sure that there's food, make sure that, he's trying to help her brother. And this relationship develops quickly between Kellen and Wavy in a very different way. So this book I love this book, and I have a hard time loving this book, but I love this book. You must read it and we will discuss, and it's fantastic. And Kellen and Wavy are quite the dynamic duo. Such a dynamic duo. And then the last book I want to talk about is No Exit by Taylor Adams. If any of my local friends are watching, do you have my book? Because I don't know where my book is. I've lost No Exit. It's out there somewhere. But anyways, No Exit by Taylor Adams follows our main character as she is desperately trying to get home from college during a horrible snowstorm because her mom is really, really sick. So she's in Utah driving through the mountains, really, really bad blizzard, and gets to a point where I want to say like her windshield wipers stop working. She has to pull off. She can no longer drive any further. So she pulls into this way station and finds out she walks in and there's 4 other people there kind of waiting out the storm. There's a husband and wife, quite the dynamic duo there. That's not the dynamic duo there's a lot of dynamic duos in this book actually. So she's trying to get cell reception to call her mom and call her sister and let her know what's happening. One of the guys tells her, go walk out by the flagpole or whatever it was. There's better reception out there. So she goes out and walks out there. She's trying to call. It doesn't work. As she's walking back in, she takes a different way. She walks by a van and notices there's a little girl locked in a cage inside of this van during this horrible snowstorm in the freezing cold, and realizes one of the 4 people that are inside this building has taken her. So she finds a bit of an ally as she's trying to secretly try to figure this out. But there are dynamic duos abound in this book, and this book is unputdownable. 5 stars. I can't say enough good things about it, and I need to pick me up some more Taylor Adams. So So those are the books that I have for you today that have pretty amazing dynamic duos in there. I recommend all of them. They're all amazing, and the dynamic duos are dynamic for various reasons. Make sure you go over to Sarah's channel and check out her video today as we celebrate our 3-year book list anniversary. See what she has for dynamic duos, and otherwise like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.